spine, and they're going to try to drag them down in the media. They're going to try to take our own party and find a divisive wedge issue and drag us down and get us fighting amongst each other. If we are fighting in this room, we lose our country. Let me repeat that. If we are fighting in this room, we lose Idaho and we lose America. Can we get along for 5 months? Can we? Because I'm from a family of 9 and I've been in fights before. Let me rephrase that. I'm from a family of 9, 8 girls and 1 boy. So, Bill, that's why I'm so good with the media. That and the fact that I worked in the media for 30 years. But when you have fought girl fights, that's a whole new level. That's a level of fighting, because let me tell you, girls don't follow rules. There's no like, don't hit below the belt. Girl fights are claw their eyes out, tear their hair out, rip their skin off, and win. And that's how we have to be That is the energy we need to push toward the Marxists that are trying to take our country right now. Right? Tear their hair out, claw their eyes out. But that is not the energy we need for our fellow Republicans. And I disagree a little bit. The 80%, it was Raul Labrador, the AG. By the way, that was incredible, and I'm rooting for you. You have a huge future, Raul, and thank you for your fight. But listen, I actually believe that President Trump, when he got trapped for 6 weeks in New York City, made lemonade out of lemons. He said, okay, you're gonna trap me, I'll go to the Bronx and we'll draw a huge crowd in the Bronx. We will draw 100,000 people in New Jersey. There are no such thing anymore as red states and blue states. There are people who want to save our country and people who are just not aware right now. And President Trump has an ability right now to get blue states like Virginia, Michigan, Minnesota is at play, Maine. Can you believe it? This isn't going to be just, we got to get cobble together as many red states as we can. The whole country is suffering right now. There's no discount card if you voted for Joe Biden. The Democrats who voted for Joe Biden, and there were some Republicans who voted for him. I hate to say that. I know a few who did. I want them to come back into the fold. Because if we don't come back together right now, we are absolutely screwed. We talked about cyclical. Bill talked about cyclical. I think it's more like a crescent. It's more of a half circle. It's a pendulum. And it swings really far to the left, and it's coming back like a damn bulldozer right at us. It is. It's coming back right at us. And if we don't take this opportunity to save our country, then we lose it. As Ronald Reagan said, 1,000 years of darkness is where we're headed. So I believe that every American, I think every American, we're 80% in agreement. Now, 5 years ago, maybe not. But right now, I believe after what we've been through, the wide open border, that even Democrats, and I know this because I've seen the polling on it, even Democrats want to see a secure border. I mean, give Joe Biden a little bit of credit. He showed us how bad the Democrat policies are. He played it out, and now we all know how bad it is. So he's really good at showing us how bad the Democrat policies are. That's one thing Joe Biden's good at. And he showed us that open border is not working for anybody. Even Democrats are now saying, whoa, we can't handle this. Can we start sending these people back to their homeland? And when January of 2025 arrives, we are going to start the largest repatriation operation this country's ever seen, and we're going to be sending everyone back to their homeland. I live in a border state. I know Idaho technically is a border state, right? But how big is that border up there? How many? 40 miles. Ours is a little bigger, and ours is a little more dangerous and sketchy right now. But I'll tell you what, I am a fed up, middle-aged woman, and I can't think of a more dangerous species to send to Washington, D.C. And I haven't started my hot flashes yet. Boy, when those things start, it's going to get real dangerous. We need, how many of you have, raise your hands if you have hot flashes. Okay, look around, don't mess with those people. But honestly, it's going to take every single one of us. And I just pray. I know not everybody in here maybe is full on MAGA. I'm 100% MAGA. I've got MAGA in my bone marrow. It's in my bone marrow. But hey, listen, I'm willing to welcome Democrats in. I want to fight this fight to save our country with every American, just like President Trump does. He doesn't care if you voted for Biden 3 or 4 years ago. He doesn't care if you voted for Hillary. Are you with us now? Are you willing to fight for this country? And if we're willing to let Democrats come into this movement, in the biggest big tent movement we've ever seen, then we're sure as hell willing to bring all this mending into the Republican Party. And so while we're here amongst family, I feel like this is a family reunion a little bit in my family. While we're here amongst family, are we willing to bring our Republican friends back in? It got quiet in here. So wait a minute. You're willing to take the Democrats but not the Republicans. For the next 5 months, are we willing to play nice and be friendly and say, the issues that we agree on, 95%. Now, I believe the country's 80% together. I talk to President Trump all the time, and I said, President Trump, the support for you is massive. He said, Kari, 80% are with us. Now, I gotta admit, when he first told me that, I thought, okay, that's an exaggeration, but I'm not gonna question him on that. But after I've traveled the whole country, I actually do believe he's correct. I think 80% of the country is with us. The media wants us to be divided. Bill, where are you, Bill? The media is so full of liars. If they don't get us believing that we're 50-50 or 51-49, it's really tight, then we're never going to realize our power. We have to realize we are 80% of the country's with us on this. I really believe that. The question is, can we bring the Republicans in? And I think that some of our friends in the Republican Party who haven't been MAGA are realizing that they feel like they're losing power and they're not welcome in this movement. And I'm here tonight to tell everyone, if you are a Republican, if you were not with President Trump before tonight and you are willing to come in, just like they did yesterday when President Trump went to Washington, D.C., I think that guy got 10 standing ovations everywhere he went. The Republican Party is rallying around him. My question is, are the Idaho Republicans willing to come together to save this state and this country? I think the people in this room are. I'm such a diplomat. I did grow up in a family of 9, and so sometimes you gotta be diplomatic. But I'm willing to say, if you want to be part of the movement that's gonna save our country, the time now is to step forward and step into it. We have a huge opportunity, and if we let this go, not only are we gonna regret it, our children will not have a future. So I want to make sure we don't let this opportunity go. We let it go, was it back in 2016 when President Trump, was that the best night of your life when he won that, by the way? How many of you opened a bottle of champagne that night, like I did? I got off the air, I was recording all night, and of course on the air I had to keep it real straight and narrow, no opinion. I called my husband on the way home, I screamed, oh my gosh, Trump won! Open up a bottle of champagne, I'm coming home, and we went to watch CNN and watched everybody crying on Clinton's. They never got to release the balloons and the confetti, and we celebrated that night. But President Trump was delivered Congress, he was delivered the Senate, and he had the White House. And we watched too many people stabbing him in the back. We can't let that happen again. And I think we need to try to reach out to our friends who are Republicans. And hopefully they come around. I just want them to know tonight, this is our olive branch. We're reaching out to you. We have to save Idaho. We have to save great states like Arizona. You know, they call it what they did in, I was talking to Dorothy today, what they did in states like California and Washington and Oregon, and they did to Colorado, they're gonna do that, and Alaska, they're gonna do that here if you don't come together. And so I know that not everybody who's kind of against the movement is in the room tonight, but I hope we can make every effort to reach out. We don't have time to fight with each other. We don't have time to fight as a family. We gotta come together as Americans. And that's what I wanna do in the next year. Now the media's gonna say I don't. I'm the most divisive creature on the planet. I have to go connect with every single Arizonan. Even though I worked in the media for almost 30 years in Arizona, and I was a trusted source and a trusted source in Arizona. The media's been so awful to me that I almost have to go and re-meet everybody in Arizona and say, look, I don't have horns. There are no horns growing out of my head. I truly am in this awful world of politics because I love my state. I'm here tonight because I know how important Idaho is. We can't let them take another state. They're going to continue to take red states, try to make us look like we're purple states, and pretty soon we know we're a blue state. I will tell you this, I know too many Idahoans to know that this is a red state. There's no way in hell this is a blue state. No way in hell. So we're going to come together and stop the ranked choice voting. They're trying this in Arizona as well. It's on the ballot in Arizona. And I know Dorothy, when she wins tomorrow, is going to make it her #1 priority to stop ranked choice voting. They don't want us to have good, solid Republicans. So we're going to fight that. We're going to fight it in Arizona. But we can't let them take, along the way, we can't let them keep taking these red states and trying to act like they're purple. There's no way Arizona's purple. And it's not blue. It's ruby red. Okay? And we got to keep it that way. But what do we have to look forward to in the next 5 months? Let me first take you what we have to look forward to in the next year. I think in the next year, a year from now, we are going to see the greatest recovery and return to American values that we've ever seen. A year from now. Next summer, yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be so great that we're going to see the future looking incredibly bright. We're not going to be worrying about our children anymore. We're going to be thinking, wow, our kids are going to have it the best. We're going to be on the first part of that 80-year cycle. And I told my daughter this the other day. I said, when we turn this around, you are going to have decades of prosperity and peace. It's going to be great. But the next 5 months is going to be dicey. It's going to be scary. It's going to be rock and roll. It's going to be, put on the full armor of God and get ready for action. It's going to be crazy. And they're going to try to divide us. We are, in this room, I have a feeling this is a pretty, how many people in this room are full on 100% MAGA? How many are just 50% MAGA? You don't want to raise your hand, okay. Good, this is 100%. They are going to try, this movement is so powerful, they're going to try to divide us in the next 5 months. And we can't let them do that. So that means we have to just zone out the media. Let's act like you're Joe Biden. Just be zoned out. I laugh because Colton put a script up here. I go, what is this? I'm going to read a speech? He goes, no, that's in case you have a Joe Biden moment. So Colton, sorry, we'll save this for let's just save this for the next speech. He goes, that's your Idaho speech the last time you were here and you never read it. And it's only for when you space out. Did anybody see Joe Biden at the G7 summit? I was a little worried that the Pope looked like he was going to excommunicate him. He came. I called it when I have 2 kids that when they're little. How many of you have little ones and you give your kids a butterfly kiss? Does any mom know what that is? Yeah. It's so sweet. It's when you get right down to the cheek and you bat your eyelashes. And you give, dads do it too. Oh, it's even sweeter when dads do it. You get right down into your precious baby's face and you bat your eyelash and they get tickled by your eyelash. Joe Biden did that to the Pope today. But it wasn't sweet. It was very, very creepy. I kind of laugh at it and then I feel bad. I mean, I don't feel bad because Joe Biden has destroyed our country, but it's really sad that his family's. Jeff, my husband up here, if I ever get to where I'm losing it, please take me out. Just remove me from the political world, please. Take me out of it, send me home, but don't keep me in it. We need to retire Joe Biden. We need to. Trump says fire Joe Biden. I'm being sweet. Let's retire Joe Biden. And fire him at the same time, if that's okay. But we have some real fighters on our side tonight. What I love about this room is I'm guessing that in 2016 the room would not have been as packed. But what President Trump and the America First movement has done is opened up our party to the people. And this is the party of we the people. Isn't that amazing? We were always told that we the people control our government, and then we find out, no, the government's trying to destroy we the people. And we're kind of in the last throes of that. But we the people are rising up, and with this new America First Republican Party, there is a place for everyone. There's a place for the hardworking, blue-collar worker who grinds it out every day, works to make a living, and wants to be a PC. There's a place for the dad who is working really hard, but he's really worried about his family and his small business. There's a place for the mama bear who's like, I don't want DEI and CRT, it's all SHIT. And I'm gonna join the GOP. There's a place for all of us. And that's what's so beautiful about this movement. And we cannot let it go. We can't let this opportunity to take back our country, to take back our states, whether it be Idaho, or in my case, Arizona, or where I come from, Iowa. We can't let this division that's gonna come at us the next 5 months sway us from being on this battlefield. It's gonna take every one of us. Frankly, I think the most dangerous species right now on the planet is the mama bear. Because we're packing lunches. Somebody just went right back there. She's packing lunches. She's checking the book bag, the backpack. She's making sure the kids are getting to bed on time. And then all of a sudden, she finds out she has to help save the world. And so she's a little bit fed up about it, but she's like, damn it, I'm gonna do it anyway. Because we are not going to let our kids inherit the world of Joe Biden and the destructive Democrat policies. We are going to make sure that this Republican Party, which is now the Republican Party, which is now the party of safe, secure borders, safe streets, fully funded police, quality education, what else? World peace. Where do we go from here? World peace. Throw something awesome out. Two genders. Yes, that's right. Two genders. We're our children's future. We are the party of the future of this country. And if we save this country, we save the world. I have more friends around the globe who are reaching out saying, what the hell's wrong with America right now? Tell me you guys are not going to screw this up. And I say, no, we're not. But it's going to require that everybody gets involved in the next 5 months. That means you're knocking doors, you're talking to friends, you're making sure they are registered to vote, you're calling friends in other states. That means making sure that we're pushing for election integrity. Election integrity, it's so important. Did you know the dirtiest thing to be called is an election denier? Apparently, I'm okay with it. Call me that. I mean, I've been called worse. I'm from a family of 9. Believe me, I've been called worse. And so we're gonna continue to push for honest elections. And I'm never gonna back away from a noble fight. And there's a lot of noble fights right now. The pendulum is swinging back. It's coming back. I said it's coming back as a wrecking ball right now. And it's gonna be a massive wrecking ball. We're gonna push away all of this garbage they pushed on us. It's been lawlessness, it's been lies, it's been destructive. And America is a country that is noble and worth fighting for. So I just want to thank you. I want to thank you, Dorothy, for inviting me. She twisted my arm and said, I gotta be in Arizona. She said, just come for one night. I said, one night, 12 hours, and I gotta get back to Arizona. But I love Idaho so much. I know this is the gem state. And it used to be a hidden gem. Don't you wish it was still a hidden gem? Everyone knows about Coeur d'Alene now. Watch out, you're gonna high rises everywhere before you know it. But this state, I know, I'm not suggesting that, I'm just saying, you gotta protect Idaho. You gotta protect Idaho. So it's gonna take all of us. And I think that we continue to reach out to the people in our own party who feel they're distanced, and we welcome them back in. All we can do is do the right thing and welcome people back in. And then it's up to them. But we can say, we welcomed you back in. We have an opportunity here to bring this country together. And I think if we bring Republicans together, that's a really good sign. So I'm hoping that our friends, maybe those who aren't here tonight, will clean the wax out of their ears and realize what's at stake right now. What's at stake is our children's future, our grandchildren's future, and for some of you, your great-grandchildren's future. And we have watched as every single hill has been surrendered. I am so tired of that. And so I'm going to stand on top of this hill, and I'm not going to step down from this hill. I hope, are any of you on the hill with me? Good. Awesome. Awesome, I appreciate it. So before I know it's been a long day and we have a big day ahead because we're going to vote for Dorothy tomorrow. Before we take off tonight, because I know some of you want to probably celebrate, maybe some of you just want to go take a bath in your hotel room. There's probably a few moms here who've thought about that. I just want you to know that if you're like me and you occasionally wake up at 3 in the morning, a little worried about where the world, who wakes up occasionally at 3 and it gets a little scared? I usually wake up my husband. Are you awake? Jeff, are you sleeping? I do that until he wakes up. And then I say, hold me, because I'm afraid. I'm gonna be honest, somebody said, you're Wonder Woman. I said, no, I'm just a mom, and I'm nervous about my kid's future, but sometimes I do get afraid. And then I remember that the same God that's with us right now is the same God that was with Moses. You all know Moses was scared to death. He didn't want to be a leader. He begged God. He said, I'm not ready for this role. I stutter. I can't speak. I'm not a leader. And God said, no, you are the leader. And everyone in this room is a leader and chosen for this moment. We are chosen for this moment. Just as those 56 men who signed the Declaration of Independence were chosen to be there at that moment. They signed their death warrant. Can you imagine how scared they were at 3 in the morning? And when they got up to go to the bathroom at 3, they had to go to an outhouse, okay? It's a little bit worse. And they didn't have a text chain of friendly, supporters who were like, you got this, you can do this. They didn't get those memes that encouraged them. They just laid there at 3 in the morning thinking, do I want to go out through the snow to the outhouse? I'm scared to death. We're going up against the biggest globalist in the whole world that we could ever imagine, King George, the monarchy. And they, with 3% of the population, created this great country. And I believe we have 80% of the population right now. And I believe 80% of this population can save this great country. Do you? Yeah. I do. So I ask you tonight, if you are afraid at any moment, just to remember that same God that parted the Red Sea is with us right now. He's not diminished. It's not a smaller, a lesser God. It is that same God. He's just as great. He's with us. And the reason they are attacking us is because they know that we have God with us. And we are not going to lose this with God on our side. So it's time to put on that armor of God, buckle up, get ready for a roller coaster ride you've never seen before. And in January of 2025, when President Trump takes his hand off that Bible, we're going to take this country back. Thank you so much, Idaho. Thank you, Dorothy. I love you so much.